إني ألقى الإيناس في صومي وصلاتي ودعائي للرحمن وجميع الطاعات.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm joined by our frequent guest who does frequent the show here, Hassan Shabrani. How are you? Assalamu alaikum. How you doing? Right? As you know, he's from the 12 Shia.net team, and he's helped us with discussion about Shias, and he's got his own episodes on this channel.
They're gonna be, on your channel, and more episodes gonna come on our own channel, inshallah.
You've got your own channel now, which will be in the description.
It's the 12shia.net channel, and me, myself, and some other brothers, inshallah. There's gonna be series of refutation against a number of individuals.
Alhamdulillah, okay. But before we talk about a number of individuals, let's talk about perhaps the most influential Shia interlocutor, or the most in the polemic in the English language. He is an interlocutor actually, because he's never actually engaged in any discussions with anyone, despite the fact that he did challenge the Sunni world to a challenge. In fact, you might be reminded from this trailer.
Someone says, but how do I know you're not concealing your faith 24/7? Me? You know I'm going to conceal my faith. You want to debate me? Come and debate me.
He wants to debate, he wants to talk, he wants to be out, he wants to discuss his views, and he wants to discuss them openly, and this is exactly what we want. We invite you to come and talk to us and see whether we have the haqq or not.
Now, as you would have known this from this trailer, what do we see, Hassan?
Well, this trailer it was a few months ago, I think 9 months, where Mashwani I'll keep it short, in one of his lectures, I think from last year or something, he very harshly, I think it was unpredicted, unseen, very harshly attacked the Sahaba. Basically, not anymore the speech that it's the Wahhabis, so-called Wahhabis who are evil, so-called Wahhabis or Salafis, whatever. No, it's the Sunnis, directly. The Sunnis and the Sahaba are the cause for terrorism, Khalid bin Walid, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, radiyallahu anhu. Anyway, then he said something on the line that I can prove this, I challenge anybody to this. Right, okay. Anyway, and then who came forward? Baba Adnan Rashid, Ustad Adnan Rashid came forward, made a clip, said, okay, come, tayyib, let's debate. Let's debate about all these issues. What happened? Of course, silence, nothing. He never came. And he was criticized by, you explain it.
Yeah, and he was criticized by his own community. There was a lot of tweets and I don't know.
Why do you open your mouth if you...
Right, and I'll be honest with you, I mean, what might not be known is about 9 years ago, I actually met Mashwani myself.
Really?
I didn't tell you this, did I? I don't think I did tell you this. So, no. But I met him in a coffee shop and we had a good meeting. And do you know the reason why I discussed
9 years?
No, about 9 years ago.
All right.
Yeah, so maybe 8-9 years ago. And I discussed things with him in a coffee shop in Kilburn. And you know, I found him, to be honest with you, to be a respectful person. I'll be completely honest with you. Yeah. In that particular instance, and the reason why I approached him is because he seemed to have a nuanced stance, and the Sunnis were more inclined to him. But to be honest with you, he's let all of us down with that particular video when he made it, and he was attacking almost all Sunnis. Yeah. The Ummah, basically, of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's attacking us and calling us implicitly terroristic in our nature, or the people that we follow are the forefathers of terrorism. Yeah. Anyways,
well, that channel is still open. I don't think that Brother Ustad Adnan Rashid minds, even if Mr. Naqshbandi is ready. He should man up, as you said, and I've seen it myself online. Many Shias criticize him rightfully. I do understand the Shias here, because as we say, isn't it? Why do you open your mouth, big talk, and then challenge the Sunni? Say, I can prove this. I challenge anybody. I debate anybody. If you do this at least, then come forward. So anyway, this can be done in another debate. Inshallah,
Inshallah. Now the thing is, the reason why we've made this video is because I personally believe he's made a video against me, but he hasn't mentioned my name personally, right? But almost all of the comments and all the Shias that have got in contact with me have said that this is directed at me, and I agree with them because I've looked at parts of the video, actually the majority of the video. And I come to the conclusion, he's implying me in a lot of the references that he's making. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the main claims that he makes in refutation, because this is an attempt to refute my points, right?
The topic.
Yeah, the topic of imama, right? So we're going to go over that.
Leadership after the Prophet ﷺ specific.
Right. And imama is like, once again, how would you define quickly imama from a Shia perspective?
Oh, from the Shia perspective, to keep it very short. Imama is from the Asluddin And
which means what?
Asl al-Din is from the fundamentals, from the foundations of the 12 Imamite sect. Now, some of them will come with some statements of some scholars of Ahl Sunnah that, I don't know, rulership is important, khilaf is important, imama as a neutral term. Of course, this is, in every society, rulership is important.
So what is imam?
But the importance, the emphasis of imama, of the 12 imams after our Prophet, who have the qualities, exactly the qualities of prophets. They're just called imams. It is such a crucial, important belief that based on that, takfir of the Sahaba, takfir of the Ummah, and many other issues has been stated from the big scholars and are related to this topic. So it is a crucial topic.
So imams, there are 12 infallible people that we must follow who have ilm al-ghaib. They have many. Knowledge of the unseen.
I always correct my Sunni brothers who say, 12 imams who are like prophets. That's wrong. 12 imams who are superior than all the prophets. Except for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Formally. They say this formally.
Right.
You know, we always explain it. When I explain it to brothers, I say, but they say the scholars.
Let's take their word for it for this.
Right.
For the sake of academic argument. We don't want to go into here and there. Let's see some of the claims that he makes. So one of the things that he says, because always a challenge that a Sunni is put forward, is obviously we have to come to common ground. There has to be some kind of masdar or some kind of source that we all agree on. So the Quran is that for us.
The
Quran, and we add to that the Sunnah which we agree with. In other words, the ahadith which we agree with, right? Because obviously it's no point me presenting my hadith to you, which you don't agree with, and you presenting your hadith to me, which I don't agree with. So let's go for the things we all agree with, and that's the way we're going to resolve this issue. So he says, which part of Imam do you want to see? Let's take a look at the clip here of what he says. He says, which part of Imam do you want to see from the Quran? Let's take a look.
I hear many people asking this question. I want you to show me Imamah, show me it textually. Show me it from the Quran. Which part of Imamah did you want to see from the Quran? It's like a person saying to me, show me the whole understanding of prophethood in one ayah of the Holy Quran. Which part of prophethood do you want to understand? The mission of prophets? The infallibility of prophets? The knowledge of prophets?
So from this clip it's clear that he's saying that there is no single verse that describes, for example, the prophets as ma'asumeen, that they have asma, the infallibility, that they have ilm al-ghaib, all of these different things, and therefore we shouldn't assume that we can find such a verse for imams. Is this a correct kind of argument?
Subhanallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah. So he says that do we find such verses for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
One single verse, he says.
That one single verse. First of all, Aslan, this is a fallacy. This is a straw man, or better, I have to say, this is a straw man. Who made the argument? Who made the request? Bring me everything in one verse. Who said it? And if somebody says this, me and you say it open. He's jahil, whoever that was. Who does it? Scholar from Ahl Sunnah does it.
No one says it.
A serious researcher. As for the Prophet, yani the Tamatul Kubra, the musibah here, the tragedy here is that he says there's no verse. Is it in an absolute sense? There's no verse that the prophets or the prophets are protected. So the funny thing is, these people like him always misuse
all of them in one verse.
Brother,
once again we said
recite beautifully for me. Finish for me. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الرسول بلغوا ما أنزل إليك من ربك.
وإن لم تفعل فما بلغت رسالته والله يعصمك من الناس.
الله يعصمك من الناس. يعصمك والله يعصمك من الناس. يعصمك comes from what?
Asma.
Asama, Isma. Infallibility. So this is protection. It is the ijma' of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah that the prophets are protected in what? In matters of wahy. In matters of revelation. Is the ijma' of Ahl Sunnah. Yes, there's difference of opinion if it goes beyond that or whatnot, but as in for matters of revelation, it's ijma'. So khalas, so what kind of argument is this?
Yes. No, so basically what you're saying in a summary is that no one's asked you to find everything in one verse.
No.
Just give us bits and bobs from different verses. Compile it with the Quran is what we're saying.
By the way, other than that, the question is actually good. Other than that, he said, what imam you want? Exactly, that's actually a good question. Because when Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah asked the 12 of us, they're scholars, they're propagandists for dalil from the Quran, and they always then accuse us, why are you Quranis? Why are you running away? No, we're not Quranis. We can debate you on every tiny issue. But we say, min bab awla, it is more logical to debate based on the Furqan. They believe, they claim, their scholars, at least the modern day scholars, claim that they believe in the Quran that is uncorrupted. And we believe so. And this is our statement. We take both of our words as given, as the zahir, as the apparent, and as the truth. Tayyib, here's the Furqan. We are asking for the Shia 12 understanding of Imama.
That's what we're asking for.
This is what we're asking for.
Yes.
And let me very shortly explain what the belief is in Imama. Their belief in Imama, according to Saduq, Mufid, and Majlisi, and the top scholars, is that every age, every time, has an infallible hujjah. A hujjah is a absolute proof of Allah. A being, a human being, a hujjah who is an imam. A hujjah by definition is an imam, and the rank of imam to them is higher than the rank of the prophet, of a prophet.
And he admits this, by the way.
And that's why this is. I don't want to go into details. That's why to them the prophet.
Fact, let's quickly see the video where he admits that generally speaking, that the imams are higher than all of the prophets except for the Prophet Muhammad.
Yeah,
just so we can see that this is something that's not controversial. Let's take a quick look at that clip.
There are a number of opinions on this issue. But I can definitely rationally and textually understand that the Imams are higher than all the prophets except the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his family.
Okay, now we've just seen a clip, so clearly it's not a controversy that he does believe, right? That for the most part, the Imams are higher than the Prophet. So let's take a look at what did you want to show us?
Tayyib. Obviously, we want to keep this as short as we can, this video. But we want to give you some references inside this video. So I'm going to read for you from Khomeini. Khomeini is a modern day scholar. I do understand this, and he's disputed among them. No problem. But what Khomeini says here must be understood.
Okay, let's take a look.
He did not made this up. Previous Shia scholars from the last few hundred years, and the likes of Saduq, they're classical scholars. He is an actual classical scholar from the medieval time, 1,000 years ago roughly. But this is Khomeini. Look what Khomeini says. He utters pure Shia 12 belief. He says the spiritual status of the Imam is the universal divine position that is sometimes mentioned by the Imams, peace be upon them. It is a position pertaining to the whole creation, by virtue of which the atoms in the universe humble themselves. The ghulu, exaggeration already started, like other sects who exaggerate with sayings, already here the point of the exaggeration. Before the holder of authority, it is one of the essential beliefs of our Shia school. It is one of the essential beliefs of our Shia school that no one can attain the spiritual status of the Imams, not even the cherubim or messenger. So basically, angels. He wants to say, not even the angels or messenger. And the Imams existed before the creation of the world. There's another khurafi superstition belief, based some sects also have these beliefs that look, the Imams were so the Adam alayhi salam, who is my father, your father, Ali bin Abi Talib's alayhi salam radiyallahu anhu father, but the Imams were born before them because the Imams were light and so on. This is all there in the form of lights. So here you see Khomeini says that nobody can reach the status of
Where was this mentioned?
Hukumat al-Islamiyya, page 22. And there's other. I don't want to read everything else. I'm just mentioning there is Majlisi. There is from Majlisi as well. There's from Saduq as well. Majlisi is from the 16th century. As-Saduq.
And they're all saying the same thing.
They're all most of them. They go further than that. I can tell you, for example, what As-Saduq says. Saduq says, whoever. I think this is by Saduq 23. Yes, Sheikh As-Saduq says. Just quickly. Who believes in the imamah of the Prince of the Believers, Ali bin Abi Talib, and who denies a single one of the 12 imams after him, is that he is in the same position as the one who accepts all the prophets, but he denies the apostleship of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Look, this is why this topic is very important. Denying one imam,
it's like denying.
And we're not talking about, they have apologetic stances and excuses. What do some of them say? Oh, this means takfir in the hereafter. We treat Sunnis in the world as Muslims.
And then your hair.
Thank you very much. And they accept us to expect us to, I don't know, to thank them. This is still takfir. And me and you and Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah all in the hereafter kuffar for not believing in the concept of 12, in the Shia concept of imama, of the 12 imams of the Quran. So is it not our right to ask, where is this belief in the Furqan?
Well, you're right. Now the next thing is what I find really interesting is he implies that basically the young people, he says, that kind of were being bullied in his own words, which I'm going to probably put up as a clip in a second, being bullied presumably by myself when I was asking them, bring me something of the Imam.
You don't bully nobody.
I don't try and bully anyone. But just by merely asking, can you give me the evidences from the Quran that's required? That's bullying. It's bullying because of how difficult the task may be. But what's funny is that after the bullying happened and these brothers had the bullying and these brothers had the arguments, the two main arguments that these brothers all came with, all three Shia debates I've had, were literally Surah Al-Baqarah 124 with Ibrahim, and that he was made Imam, and also the whole thing of chapter 459, Surah An-Nisa, obey Allah, obey the Messenger, and the ones in control of among you. These verses are the same verses, despite him criticizing my interlocutors implicitly, the same ones he uses himself. So in other words, he says these guys didn't do a good job, they shouldn't, and then he uses the same arguments they used. So kind of funny, but how would we come on? Let's summarize these two verses quickly. So the first one,
which
he says, "Inni ja'aluka lin-nasi imama." Yeah, it's Ibrahim. "Inni ja'aluka lin-nasi imama." ومن ذريتي قال لا ينال عهد الظالمين. Okay, this verse in chapter 2 verse 124 is talking about Allah speaking to Abraham. He says, I'm going to make you an imam for the people.
Stop, if I can.
Yes.
Can I say to Brother, let's do it like quickly.
Right.
Let's role play.
Yes.
What does the verse say again in translation? I am making you Ibrahim and
an imam.
Who is Allah making imam?
Ibrahim.
Where's Ali in this?
He says, ومن ذريتي.
Is Ali mentioned there?
No.
Okay, من ذريتي.
Yeah.
من ذريتي يعني from his
progeny.
From his offspring descendants, right?
Yeah.
Because from Ismail, from Ibrahim, from Ismail, from Quraysh, right?
Yes.
Then somebody will come and say that's Muawiyah, that's Abu Bakr. Huh? Somebody can come. Where is?
لا ينال عهد الظالمين.
Zalimin means
that my promise won't reach the ones who are transgressors.
I know their arguments, and they interpret Zalimin as what? Zalim to them is anybody who is who is other than a ma'soom, other than a infallible.
Right. That's how they do say it. Yeah.
And where's the dalil for this?
There is no dalil.
There is no dalil for this, of course. The verse, one of the most misused verses. Quickly, I'm going to explain to you what Sunni Tafsir say about this. Sunni Tafsir, what is this that Allah made Ibrahim an imam? Can a prophet become? Because look, here's the problem.
He's saying he was made from a prophet. His argument. Let's take a look at the clip just to see his full argument.
When I come therefore towards understanding imama from the Holy Quran, which part of imama do you want me to explain to you? Imama as a position which a prophet of Allah reached as his highest position, I can show you that. For example, in chapter 2, verse 124, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to Nabi Ibrahim, after Nabi Ibrahim was a Nabi, a Rasul, reached the level of Khalil, prophet, messenger, friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, high station, then imama. قَالَ إِنِّي جَاعِلُكَ لِلنَّاسِ imama. I have made you an imam for the people. It shows that while he was a Nabi and a Rasul, Allah told him there's another station, a high station. And that is the station of being an imam for the people as well, a leader for the people as well. One who's wholeheartedly sacrificing himself to guide people spiritually and politically and has the knowledge to be able to guide the people in all of their affairs.
So as you saw in the clip, his argument is that you are made from the Prophet, the manzila of an imam, the status of an imam is higher than the manzila of the Prophet, and the evidence of that is that Ibrahim was a Prophet and then he was made into an imam, right?
Alright, so Ibrahim, okay, slowly. So Ibrahim was first a Prophet,
then an imam.
This is very important for you guys to understand, the viewers. Whatever your religious background, maybe, whatever. You have to understand, according to these people, this religion. The likes of Naqshbandi and all the scholars. Wallahi, I don't mean the lame men. I myself used to be Shia. They don't like me to mention this much. I don't. My family is Shia, many of them still, and I have no problem with blaming Shia. There are many of them are masakin. They don't know the reality. They don't know the truth. They have been spoon-fed with these repetitive, recycled shubuhat arguments. That wallahi, everybody who's familiar with the Quran can easily answer. We'll do it. We will do it here right now. We are doing it right now. Brothers and sisters, what these people do when they see the word Imam is that this is purely sectarian. They see the word Imam and they insert their sectarian, their terminological definitions into the verse instead of letting the verse dictate the belief. Ahsant. So here's the thing, brothers and sisters, and this is what I said is very important to understand. You heard what Mashwani says. Because Ibrahim alayhi salam, everybody knows he was a prophet, and then Allah said, I made you an Imam. So according to his flawed logic, from one step, let's call it step number 1, level 1, was prophethood. Ibrahim was standing on this step, and then he
went to the Imam step.
So what does it mean, akhi, practically? It means the rank of Imama is higher than prophethood. But the funny thing is, Ibrahim alayhi salam, was he, even according to him, and by the way, he's not making these things up, he is not extreme or became extreme, or he said, I hope nobody comes up with these excuses. This is mainstream, but unfortunately this is mainstream. Brother Muhammad, was Ibrahim, according to Naqshbandi in 12 beliefs, a prophet? So within Ibrahim, he owned prophethood and Imama. Both? Yes or no?
Yes.
طيب. Ali bin Abi Talib, Al-Hasan bin Ali bin and Al-Hussein, and Ali ibn Al-Hussein, wa Muhammad ibn Al-Hussein, and Ja'far ibn Muhammad, until the rest of the 12 Imams. Where if we salamna, if we for the sake of argument accept that they were infallible 12 Imams, were they, according to Shia stance, prophets or Imams only? Were they prophets or Imams, infallible Imams?
They were just Imams.
They were just Imams. So you see his flawed argument goes back to him like a boomerang, but the boomerang hits the head. Why? Because here this makes, by definition, his argument, you have to understand, isn't it? Makes Ibrahim superior than all his Imams. Because his Imams were not prophets.
So, and he had both.
Right. هذا أولا. This is point number 1. Point number 2. What do Sunni scholars say about the tafsir about this verse? Sunni scholars explain it very beautifully, with no ghulu, with no exaggeration, with no alien belief. No Muslim, if you even go to a non-Muslim and say to him, do you know what? Do you know the prophets, when they go one rank higher, they become Imams? What? Sorry? The highest position every Muslim knows is what?
Even Christians and Jews know.
The highest position is a Rasul, right? The Rasul, because the Rasul comes with...
What is higher than everything.
The definition, quickly, difference between Rasul and...
There's a difference of opinion, we don't want to go,
Yes, but because people might ask, okay, there is now Rasul and Prophet. A Rasul and Prophet, a Rasul comes with the message, a messenger. So, point 1 is covered. Point 2, we say to them, the Sunni scholars, for example, Ibn Kathir and other Sunni scholars, Qurtubi, they mention, guess how they interpret what Imam he means. Ibrahim was made in Uswa, Ibn Kathir says. Other scholars say that it has to do with him having been given the Sharia. The 10 points of Sharia, some about Nadafa, about cleanliness and stuff like that. But nobody came with a far-fetched explanation that it means another rank.
But you know what's really clear about the ayah? It says, إِنِّي جَاعِلُكَ لِلنَّاسِ إِمَامًا. يعني هو كان إماما من قبل. He was an Imam before, but he wasn't لِلنَّاسِ إِمَامًا. So in other words, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevated his level from leadership from a local group to leadership to an international group.
Another very important point, akhi. After Ibrahim was supposedly made an Imam, which is, if we go by their understanding, something superior than a prophet. What did he do? What things what special things that he did not do before, did he suddenly do? He was still the same. Did he call his own son, to his imama? Did he call people to his imama? That's right. No, he called nobody to his imama. He was a prophet. The prophet is it. So Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah do not misuse this verse. They do not insert some religious terminology on the word, into the word what? Imam. But because they they are sectarian in a sense, really, that they do not, as we say, what do the scholars of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah say? Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, their beliefs are dictated by the Quran and Sunnah. Ahlul Bid'ah, their beliefs, they enforce their beliefs on the verses. And we can see it in many other verses which they misuse, cut all, read out of context. Innama waliyukumullah, and so many verses where if you look at the context, you see, has nothing to do with Imam of Khilafah. If you look at this verse of Ibrahim, as I mentioned at the beginning, Akhi, if we want to keep it very short, then we say, Tayyib, this is nas sarih, clear-cut text for the Imama, if we accept. For the Imam of Ibrahim, this is not for the Imama of Ali bin Abi Talib. And as for the argument you mentioned that Allah does not give his covenant to the Zalimeen, that does not mean, not every Ghayr Ma'asim is not every non-infallible is a Zalim. Is Sistani, Ayatollah Sistani in Iraq, is he ma'asum according to the Shias? No. Is he a Zalim? according to them? No. Is Khamenei the leader of the Shias who are pro-Wilad Faqih? Is he a ma'asum according to them? No. So this understanding is flawed to say this means they enforce it on the verse.
No, but you know, it's good you mentioned that. Because there is one point where Mashwani.
Well, you should play it then.
Let's actually play this point where he actually says, "Why should we follow anyone?" He actually makes this point.
He actually says it like this,
like this, right? And let's let the viewers decide how he says it. He says, why would we follow anyone who is غير معصوم? Why would we follow anyone who is not infallible? Let's take a look at exactly what he says.
They talk of a grace which God pours upon His servant, who's already displayed a wonderful obedience to Him. This grace is a grace which purifies them, as well as ensures they'll never order you to commit wrong or to commit a mistake. Because when I have to obey that person in authority, it is upon the idea that that person is always a source of guidance to Allah. Why don't I obey someone who's fallible? Because whatever he says to me, I'll still say, I'm going to hear someone else's opinion, true? Today, with a scholar in fiqh, even if he gives you an opinion, don't you say, well, let me read what other maraja' say on the issue, what other scholars say on the issue? We don't want a tasalsul to occur, where I jump from person to person to person to person.
So as you see here, he's being very clear about it. I mean, there's no two ways. He's saying why you can get a second opinion and these things. So he's now putting...
MashaAllah ala al-mantiq, MashaAllah. What can we say here? According to this logic, let's start from the beginning. Shias believe in 12 Imams. Right. 11 of these 12 Imams, if we can call it rule or guided, if they guided, we believe 11 of them were righteous men and Imams of Ahlul Sunnah. But if they were guides, as in infallible guides, they all lived, 11 Imams, 2.5 centuries. 2.5 centuries. After 2.5 centuries, i.e. 1,200 years ago, the 12 was claimed that the 12th one went into the major occultation. Al-Ghaybat al-Kubra, major occultation. Yani he is not accessible. Yes, they come out each Ayatollah. No, he's not in a cave. He's not in a cave. Last time he was seen was in a basement. Some Sunnis say the Shia Imam lives in the cave. No, they don't believe he lives right now in a cave. However, unfortunately, they believe and hold beliefs and have rituals that are still very, very problematic and how can I call it? They believe that the last time he was seen was in the basement of his father in Samarra. Samarra, you know, is a Sunni city. It's almost completely Sunni city. In Iraq. And he was last time seen there. He was last time seen there in the basement. And there's videos on YouTube. I don't know if you want to put it or I'm going to put it. They do ziyarat there. You know, ziyarat, religious pilgrimage to a basement.
That people actually believe that he's walking around the city or something like that.
Point is, they do ziyarat, that they go to the basement and kiss a door and go downstairs. It's absolutely, ضلالة فوق الضلالة, misguidance upon misguidance. But anyway, we don't have nothing to do with this one.
Let's go to one of the verses that they use.
No, just quickly, we wanted to comment on where he said, how can you follow a
non-infallible?
What mantiq is this? What logic is this?
Right.
As I just explained, 11 of the 12 Imams lived for 2.5 centuries after the Prophet ﷺ. If we submit and go by the Shia 12 line that they were 11 infallible Imams and they guided a group of people at least. Even the Shia say that the 12th one went into the major occultation.
Right.
Major occultation. He's not accessible. Yes, some of them comes with some philosophical excuses. He's like the sun behind the cloud, although I believe the sun behind the cloud is much more beneficial. But anyway, the point is he's not accessible. He's not guiding them. That's why they call Imam Khamenei. Imam Khamenei. There's the Imam. He leads. Imam Shirazi, Imam Sistani. They proudly say that Sistani united all the tribes and the Shia tribes in Iraq and formed the Hashd al-Sha'bi. Yeah. So, according to this logic, Naqshbandi, if he's brave, he should go to Qom and take a megaphone and shout, "Oi guys, no more following. How can you follow Khamenei? He's not a Ma'soom. Oi guys in Najaf and Karbala, how can you follow Sistani? He's not a Ma'soom." Oh, what mantiq is this? Or worse, if he has a time machine, you can go to the time of the 12th Imam, when the 12th Imam disappeared, and say to the Shias, "That's it, game over. No more infallibility game." By the way, this itself deserves a whole lecture. After the 11th Imam, 12th Imam went when? Where? And the so-called occultation. Who guided the Shia from that time on? Who? Brother, who guided the Shia since the occultation? They're scholars. Are the scholars infallible according to them? No. So 1,200 years without, what? Infallible guy. Then we know their excuses. Of course they're gonna say, but the Hujjah is on earth. The earth will not remain without the Hujjah, and he gives us hope and all those things. Practically, an infallible is not guiding. As simple as that. So what he said is just.
It's nonsense. But on that point, just quickly, I wanted to mention. He's talking about. يا أيها الذين آمنوا أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم فإن تنازعتم في شيء فردوه إلى الله والرسول. So this is chapter 4 verse 59, another one of the. I don't see how. I mean, if anyone just goes to that part of the Quran, wallahi, just check it. How is that talking about the Imam?
Sunnis, Shias, Ibadis, Zaydis,
non-Muslims,
Jews, Christians, Hindus,
459. Check it up. How does this reference 12 Imams? How?
Read that. Allah, that's why we believe the Quran does not support Shiism. Wallahi al-Azim,
this is one of their strongest evidences.
Aslan, this verse, we need to translate it.
So it says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا.
Oh, you who believe.
أطيعوا الله.
Obey the messenger.
وأطيعوا الرسول.
Sorry, again. Obey Allah and obey the messenger.
وأولي الأمر منكم.
And those of authority among you.
Yeah. فإن تنازعتم في شيء.
And if you dispute in a matter, any matter,
فردوه إلى الله والرسول.
Then go back to Allah and
the messenger.
Allah and
the messenger.
Full stop.
خلاص.
Subhanallah.
إن كنتم تؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر. Yeah.
Every person, they know this verse is problematic to them. Some of the scholars like Kamal al-Haidari and others, they admit that is a problem to use these verses, these kind of verses against Sunnis. Why? Very quickly. Atiullah. Obey Allah. And His Messenger.
And the people of authority.
And the people of authority among you.
Yeah. The Imams, he means.
And if you dispute in a matter, suddenly Allah says what?
If you dispute.
Then Allah says, if you dispute, now it's important. Where to go back? Where to refer back? Where?
Allah and the Messenger.
So here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say,
go back to the
forget about the Imam. The Imam I don't mention at all in the Quran. Sometimes they say, what do you want from us? The names from the Imams of the Quran? No, we don't want the Imam. This is the 7 world wonders. No, we don't want the names of the Imams of the Quran. Not the description. No. Even here, Ulil Amr here means Ulil Amri min Kum. This is Am, we say in Arabic. This is general. This is for every age and time. Allah is saying, oh you believers, Muslims, Muwahideen, monotheists, obey Allah and His Messenger. Islam, Quran, Sunnah, Allah wa Rasul, Allah wa Rasul. That's why when you go in the Sunni mosque, what do you hear the whole time? Allah says His Messenger says. Allah said His Messenger says. Of course we talk about Ahl Bayt, about Sahaba, about the virtues, but the Asl, the main is what? Allah Messenger, Allah Messenger. Not Allah and the 12 Imams, Allah and the 12 Imams. The 12 Imams said, Jafar Sadiq said, Jafar Sadiq said. And the rank of the Prophet is practical. That's why earlier I said formally. They believe formally that the Prophet is superior. But
so there's no way you can use this. Right?
You cannot use this word because Allah says if you dispute, go back to Allah and His Messenger. Not go back to Allah and His Messenger and the Ulil Amr. And it says, Atiullah wa Atiur Rasul. And then what? Wa ulil amri minkum. Everybody who knows Arabic, who studied Arabic, these are from the basics. When Allah is yani fil amr, right? Fil amr, how do we
commanding?
Command. When Allah says Atiullah, obey Allah, wa Atiur Rasul, and obey the Rasul. Does Allah then say, pay attention, please those who are in love with the Quran, doesn't matter if you're Shia, Sunni, maybe the non-Muslim.
I like the way you put it.
Look at the Quran now, brothers and sisters. Open it now. Look there. Look at the translation and look at the Arabic verse. Atiullah, obey Allah, wa atiur Rasul. Allah uses the imperative. Yeah. He uses it for himself and for his messenger. But when it comes to ulil amri, he said, wa ulil amri. Why is that, brother?
Respect to Allah and His Messenger.
Yes, not just that.
And raising them in status compared to the other.
Not just that. The main reason is, according to grammar, is because it's absolute. Obedience to Allah and His Messenger is absolute. That's why Allah uses atiullah, obey Allah, and Allah says again, wa atiur Rasul. Allah uses again the imperative, obey. But when it comes to ulil amr, he says what? Wa ulil amri minkum. Why? Suddenly, wa? Because the ulil amr are not an entity that is on the same level. It is not an infallible entity. And Allah describes even in an arm sense who the entity is. Wa ulil amri min? Kum. Those are of authority
from you.
That's it. And akhi, finally, this is again what we say. Ambiguous. Is ambiguous, and this is everything they bring is ambiguous at best.
Disgustingly ambiguous.
At best is ambiguous, actually. Right. At best, sometimes it's completely distorted. So this is an ambiguous evidence, and we know that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala says what about those people who go after the mutashabihat, after the ambiguous? What does Allah say about those people? And those people who have illnesses, sickness in their hearts, they go after the ambiguous verses. So you see this verse, if you show it any Christian, Jew, Muslim, somebody who read the Quran 1,000 times and say, is this crystallized? Is this a crystallized belief? Do you understand from this belief that you have to forget about names? We don't ask for the names of the driver. Do you even understand that there is a entity, a group of people who are infallible after the final message of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Hasha wa kalla, never.
Let me tell you something. Talk about crystallized beliefs. Let's take a look at Mashwani's. Actually, he became very brave. Let's take a look at his clip. Challenging. It's a challenge for us. Let's take a look at what he says.
Shi'ism is a very early theology. I would say, and I will not hesitate to say this, and you can show this wherever you want, on every link, on YouTube, wherever you want. Shi'ism, the Khawarij, and the Murji'ah are the three earliest theologies in Islam. There was no such thing as Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. I defy anyone to show me that there's a clear crystallized creed, 3 C's, that was there in early Islam called Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. If not, you can show me 200, 300 years later, I don't mind. Early Islam, Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah.
Oh, so here we have Listen to this.
First of all, quickly, Baba, I expect from you that you explain to the viewers. I know we did it at the beginning of the video, but this is the same individual who last year made a big claim, attacked the Sahaba, accused them as the cause of terrorism and whatnot, and then he said, and I debate anybody on this. And then when somebody, a respected person, Ustad Adnan Rashid came forward, he said suddenly, well, it was absolute silence to the point that Shias themselves rightfully attacked Naqshbandi for that. So now again, dear brothers and sisters, let's see. So, I know this time he worded it a bit better. He didn't say I want to debate.
No, but he said really clearly. I mean, this is so academically weak. I'm actually shocked. Because this man is actually pursued higher education and further and higher education. So when he says something like this, it's shocking to me because it shows that he has not done his research.
Rephrasing, brother. The rephrasing.
So he's saying that the 3 groups, right? The Khawarij and the Murji'ah and the Shia were the 3 earliest groups.
Let's quickly explain to the people what are these groups. Very quickly.
Yeah, go ahead. But before we do that, and he says 300 years, he even extends it to 300 years. Wallahi, I cannot believe this. And he says you'll never find one formula, one creed, one crystallized creed of the Sunnis in that time. Let's start with the first claim. Okay.
First, let's use his own method on him now.
Right.
What do you mean crystallized? Then he said, what imam are you asking for?
Right.
Infallibility, the qualities of the imam. We say, what do you mean with crystallized belief? Do you want some from heaven sent down book where it's written ASWJ on it? Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah beliefs or something? Besides, before we throw some evidences at him,
Yes.
we say, I want to address, and I know there is many people who have, who some of them, they grew up with him.
Right.
But I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, and I've seen it with my own eyes. Last year, when he challenged Brother Adnan Rashid, and then when Brother Adnan Rashid came forward, and then he suddenly, Mashwani, shush, became very quiet. I think he left the UK, went again to America or wherever. Brothers and sisters, this man, when he did this last year, i.e. when he challenged and did not debate, I saw his own Shia people and followers, like on the forums or whatnot, criticizing him and admitting that Mashwani in reality is a jahil. He's a jahil, he's an ignorant. He speaks to lay people. Wallahi, the funniest thing was when I read one comment on the largest Shia forum in the world, one administrator, he said, Wallahi, he said, by God, Mashwani, all of you guys know very well, any knowledgeable Sunni sitting with Mashwani, an actual knowledgeable Sunni sitting with him, it will intellectually rip apart, intellectually.
Well, I don't even think a knowledgeable person. I think a student of knowledge.
So,
with claims like that, I have no respect for.
They know that. That's why I believe. That's why I understand Mr. Mashwani. That he goes only to his own centers, faces no Shias whatsoever, no Sunnis whatsoever, and makes these claims because he knows.
No one's gonna.
You know, brother. Wallahi, the problem is in this age of social media, brother. You know what the problem is?
Yeah.
We think sometimes me and you, people like me and you, we are outraged. How can he? And we're gonna explain to the viewers. Bear with us. Why it's such a ridiculous claim. But here's the saddest thing is, brother. What me and you, the likes of me and you, and maybe some brothers and sisters who are watching, what they sometimes don't realize, brothers and sisters, in this time and age, don't think just because there's social media you're going to get exposed, you're going to get refuted. Do you think he worries about this? He doesn't, because he knows his followers will love him no matter what. Most people don't care. Most people are not they are not actual truth seekers, huh? They add homonyms and cursing, insulting. Even under your video now, it will start. You will see insults and curses. If they were truth seekers, then at the very least they would understand that this man who they made so big, who's the eloquent speaker, you know, and who can cite so many Sunni references, he's a miskin, he's a jahil. He just, wallahi al-azim, brothers and sisters, everything this man says in his lectures are recycled shubuhat, recycled arguments from books like Peshawar Nights, Tijani's books, nothing new. That's why I would say he should come and debate with you. Or debate with me.
Let's let him go and debate with Adnan Rashid.
Or with Adnan Rashid.
Or if not,
any
come to
of
me. If not, come to anyone. But I don't think he's going to do that.
No, to the point.
To the point.
To the point.
Let's quickly define Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Ahl Sunnah al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa Jama'at al-Sahaba. Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah is basically the Quran and the Sunnah.
Ma ana alayhi wa ashabi. Hadith sahih.
Okay, so that's number one. To refute his claim directly, where is there a creed? Because he mentioned the word creed, crystallized creed. There are creeds. For example, Aqidat al-Raziyain, I think it was published definitely about 279 or something like this maximum. Yeah. So, because that's when Abu Hatim, I think, died.
He says after 300 years. It was before 3.
Ahmad ibn Hanbal died 241. He wrote a book called Usul al-Sunnah, and he started, Usul al-Sunnah means the foundations of the Sunnah, and he started his book with Usul al-Sunnah indana, the Sunnah, the fundamentals of the Sunnah according to us are, and then he lists all those fundamentals.
Kitab Khalq al-Af'al by Imam Bukhari, Ar-Rad al-Jahmiyyah, these books were creation of the Quran, Asma wa Sifat.
It's actually disgusting. Well, I find it shocking that he made that claim, because it shows that he hasn't even read these books. It's so surprising that he's meant to be the face of Shia polemicism against the Sunni world, and he hasn't even done the research. Like, this is basic research. Now tell us something about. That's done. So we know. And what did Al-Lalaka'i say, by the way?
Imam Al-Lalaka'i is one of the Imams of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Imam Al-Lalaka'i is one of the Imams of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah.
When was the first time the word Ahl Sunnah was used? By whom?
According to Imam Al-Lalaka'i in Sharh al-Sunnah, where he referenced a lot of sources, early sources. It's attributed to Abdullah ibn Abbas radhiyallahu anhu. Who was Abdullah ibn Abbas? He's a real Sayyid, if you like. He's a real Hashimi, an actual Hashimi from Bani Hashim, a Sahabi, a companion from the Bani Hashim.
And what did he say?
He, Ibn Kathir mentions it, and Imam Al-Lalaka'i mentions it. Imam Kathir is later, but Imam Al-Lalaka'i is early. Imam Al-Lalaka'i mentions it in Sharh al-Sunnah that Ibn Abbas from the Ahl al-Bayt, the Bani Hashimi, an actual Hashimi, said that the Ahl al-Sunnah are those, according to the verse in the Quran, whose faces. will be bright on the day of judgment.
No.
These are Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and the Ahlul Bid'ah wal Dalala, those whose faces will be
So he used the word
dark.
Ahlul Sunnah.
He used the word Ahlul Sunnah.
Clearly.
And clearly, but as we say, it's not even the ibara, as we say in Arabic, the ibarat, yani, the asl in things is not only the ibarat. Somebody can call himself a Sunni but be a complete heretic.
Yes, it's true.
And somebody can call himself a Shi'i and be a Sunni because
true.
he means Shi'i in the correct sense. You know, I'm a follower.
Yeah.
No, a Shi'i with all the bid'ah and the dalala.
Right.
So we say to him, Ya miskeen. Ya
Wallahi,
miskeen.
this is shocking that he's made this point.
Ya miskeen if you make these claims. If you go and if you try to impress those masakin who sit in front of you, who wallahi al-azim, if when he cracks jokes, he says, I do not care
About what?
about
Abu Hurairah.
any single thing that Abu Hurairah says, right? So look, this miskeen cracking jokes, you know, and saying he doesn't care. You see, we can say the same thing, that we don't care about what Zurara and Jabir and Zurara and all those other liars, they have narrated all these lies to the Ahlul Bayt.
And that's why it's important to find common
Yes, that's why we have, exactly.
Common ground.
Those Shias who sit with him there, wallahi, and as we said, we have no problem with the layman. Why would I? My mother's a Shia, he said. My mother's 90%, more than 90% of our family are Shias. I have problem, yes, I do have problem with any Sunni, Shia, any person in the world who threatens me, who threatens my family, any other stuff. If people start to use things against me, and say, oh, you don't have nothing against Shias, then why did you say this to Fulan? It has nothing to do with his religion. We don't have nothing against Shi'is or Sunnis or whatever. I'm just saying, this con artist, and that's what he is. Wallahi, he knows that the people who sit in front of him, all the Shias who sit in front of him, maybe 2 of them or 3, if he would ask, do you know who the main narrator, one of the main narrators of Shia hadith is? All of them would say, oh, the Imams. Miskins don't know. They don't know who Zurara is. They don't know who Jabir is. They don't know who the Ruwad is. Those who attributed these lies to Ahlul Bayt. So most people, akhi, as I said, they don't know. I mean, most Shia people, they don't know when this guy takes the mic and attacks Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu, who, by the way, all the shubhat and lies they use against Abu Hurairah, accusing him of being a liar, have been refuted, including they can come to our website, tawbashia.net, and there have books been written refuting each and every single attack on Abu Hurairah by Shia scholars.
You know, one thing I found really interesting, that the study that's done in Saudi Arabia recently,
that
they found that every hadith that's done by Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu, in the 6 books of hadith, has at least actually 90% of the hadith have at least one person corroborating them. So that's
Ahsan. Of course, they will bring shubhat that Fulan Sahabi criticizes Abu Hurairah, but that's not our topic. What I was saying is that most of these people that he's addressing, these common people, laymen, they don't know who Zurara is, who Jabir is, all these con artists of their time, all these zanadiqa, these heretics of their time, who attributed these hideous, despicable, horrendous beliefs and sometimes rituals to the Ahlul Bayt. This is what the likes of Naqshawani, and Naqshawani is a small fish, by the way. Naqshawani is nobody, as I said. Naqshawani knows the people who is addressing, the vast majority of them don't know Arabic. Naqshawani is recycling garbage. Naqshawani recycles old shubuhat from the books of like Peshawar Nights, Ilzamun Nasib, all the books, maybe even from Tijani books. That's what Naqshawani is. Naqshawani is not special. However, what do they say? There's English saying, don't they say it? Under the blind, the man with the one eye is the king. I don't know if you know this saying. So if everybody is blind and there's someone with one eye, he's perceived as the king. Otherwise, he knows very well that those people who sit in front of him don't know who Zurara is, Jabir is, and all these lies, who attribute actual lies, khurafat, bid'ah and dalala to the Ahlul Bayt.
Let's go back.
And this is, by the way, brother and sisters, this is what we reject.
Right.
This is what we say. We don't reject Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam radhiyallahu anhum. We love Ahlul Bayt. We don't reject the school of Ahlul Bayt, the narrations of Ahlul Bayt. We reject what has been attributed to the Ahlul Bayt from them, from their likes. If Naqshawani is brave, tell him to come, and we'll debate with one of our team about his narrators. So he attacks Abu Hurairah. Let's talk about Zurara. Let's talk about Jabir. Let's talk about all those liars who have narrated thousands of hadith and attributed way more. By the way, they always attack Abu Hurairah for a few thousand hadith. Few thousand, brother. Some say 5, 6 and more thousand hadith. Some of a single narrator has attributed to Jafar Sadiq, has attributed to Al-Baqir, and so on and so forth. So this with regards to that.
Let's go
As
back
for-
to what he said, because what he said before about the sect. He says, because this is a very silly comment he made.
Some additional points, yeah.
He said that the three most qadim or most ancient groups were the Murji'ah and the Khawarij and the Shia. And listen, in minute 34 of his video, he says that the Murji'ah and the Khawarij and the Shia are the earliest groups. Then in minute 36, listen to what he says.
Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah that you see today originally was a theological school called the Murji'ah. That's prototype Ahlul Sunnah.
So as you can see here, guys, minute 36, he clearly says the Murji'ah are the Ahlul Sunnah.
And Baba, billah alik, for everybody, I know everybody who's a talib al-ilm, somebody who's a learned person now, and Baba, hold yourself.
You don't need to be Muslim to see the
Anybody who's slightly learned, please hold yourself and stop laughing now, because yes, it's embarrassing what he's saying. But how can, brother, somebody say the Murji'ah? We have to quickly explain these terms. So Khawarij are those who made khuruj, the earliest Khawarij,
which means they went against the leader.
They went against the leader. There was one person who made a statement against the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ said, from his people there will come a people, and
they made takfir of the leader and the Muslims.
And these Khawarij, and ironically, Khawarij have very similarities with the extremist 12ers. The Khawarij used to make takfir on Ali and Muawiyah.
Right. Okay.
Although they didn't go as extreme as to make takfir on Abu Bakr and Umar and everybody, but Ali and Muawiyah, they make takfir on them.
Right.
So Khawarij are these. Shia Shia from Shia, yani to support someone, is a neutral term again. That they and originally is a neutral term. Shia means supporter. So these are these. As for Murji'ah, what is Murji'ah? Murji'ah, Raja'a, Irja. You see, these are basics of the Arabic language. And he should sit down and teach these things to his people, or maybe even to his Maraja who speak broken Arabic and can't recite the Fatiha correctly. He should sit down and teach these things to the people, not throw around terminologies. Who are the Murji'ah? Murji'ah from Raja'a, I think linguistically you can explain it as going back, falling back. Technically explained, yani the Shari'i explanation is those
they
who
don't believe in that actions have anything to do with it.
Yeah, and if actions, exactly, ahsan. There's different levels, of course, like there's different levels of Khawarij. Ahsan. So Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah in the books of Aqidah, brother, I'll leave it to you. What do Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah do in the books of have done?
They literally refute them. They literally refute these.
They refute the Rafida, yani all the Shia groups, extremists like the 12. They refute the Qadariyah. They refute the Jabriyah. They refute the Khawarij.
We have statements from Sahaba mentioning these
Jahmiyah.
Mentioning these names.
And we forgot to mention some early books. Khaliq al-Af'al from Imam Bukhari. Okay, maybe that's not early enough from him.
And he says 300 years it is.
Yeah, okay then.
So it's done.
He's done. Books of Aqidah from Imam Darimi, and there's other books.
Yes.
Anyway.
We said Usul al-Sunnah, we said Raziyain, Aqid Raziyain. All of these things are
just finally, brother.
What are the books of the Khawarij?
That's what I wanted to say.
When was the first time?
فصل الخطاب في جهل بابا. Let's do this. فصل الخطاب في جهل نخجواني I don't want to say more. فصل الخطاب, the final word with regards to the jahl of this person is what, brother? If you ask Mr. Nakhjawani, where is it crystallized and where's the beliefs of them? They were not crystallized, the beliefs of the Sunnis, after 300 years. Ya miskin, ya jahil. Where are the beliefs of Khawarij crystallized?
Give me one book. See a book of the Khawarij.
I don't know. Abu Yazid al-Khariji from Kufa wrote the book about the Aqidah of the Khawarij. Before 300 years.
The Shia,
Ahsan. Where's the books of the Aqidah of the Shia? If you say,
the first one?
Yeah, if they say we have, for example, if they say we have Kitab Sulaim, one of the earliest books, if not the earliest.
The one that says about 13
it is disputed if that can even be attributed to the author.
Right, it is.
And books of hadith are books of hadith. They have what is it called? Aqidat al-Imamiyya and whatnot by Saduq ibn Babawayh al-Qummi and all the other scholars.
This was about 1,000 years ago as well.
That was, in the Islamic golden age.
So that's actually he's not even meeting his own standard with his own section.
Exactly. Yani it is, but again, I give it to Nakhjawani. Wallahi, I give it to him. Why? Because I know it works. He knows nobody's going to question him.
Right.
He knows 99% of the followers, they're going to clap and say 10 salawats when he finishes. Some, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, and then everything is fine. They're happy. People don't question. But here's the news for Nakhjawani and his likes. this time is over. Yes, I know they're going to say the same thing about us. Are we going to refute you as well? Maybe they're going to take parts from this video. We don't care. We believe that we are honest in what we do, and the likes of Naqshbandi and bigger than him lie about the Ahl Sunnah, lie about the Sahaba, and it's over for him to have a one-man show without being responded to.
No, I want to end with one thing. I mean, to be honest with you, it's good that Jazakumullah khairan, first of all, being on the show.
Thank you, Akhi.
And I wanted to say that, look, you cannot be a polemic unless you have someone to argue with. You cannot make a reputation for yourself as a Shia polemicist against Sunni Islam and talk about debating and arguments unless you put your arguments to the test. And the point why we're doing this video for him particularly, not only is because he done a video implicitly referencing my debates, but it's because I personally believe this is not the way to conduct yourself as a polemicist. If you want to be a debater, come forward and debate. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.